All securities through Money Concepts Capital Corp. Member FINRA SIPC, Executives Wealth Advisor LLC, is an independent firm not affiliated with Money Concepts Capital Corp.
Welcome to Queen's Address Radio, presented by Executives Wealth Advisor and Siobhan Kelly of Kelly & Associates, Incorporated with American Family Insurance. Queen's Address Radio, where legacy meets purpose and high vibrational conversations move culture forward. I'm your host, Jamila Ewing. This week's guest, educator Tiasia Jones Patterson.
Hi there, I'm Keisha Smith-Jones, the Executives Wealth Advisor, and I'm proud to sponsor the Queen's Address Radio. To every woman who has climbed the ladder, shattered ceilings, and built a name for herself, this moment is for you. You've mastered how to show up, lead with confidence, and create success in your career. But now, it's time to make sure that success works just as hard for your future. At the Executives Wealth Advisor, we help professional women turn income into impact, transforming financial success into long-term freedom, security, and legacy. Because true wealth isn't just about what you earn. It's about what your success makes possible for you, your family, and generations to come. Stay tuned for today's Money Minute Insight. And when you're ready, take your next step. Text the word CROWN to 614-482-2236 to claim your free financial toolkit. Grab a pen. I'll share that number again during the Money Minute Insight.
You're listening to Queen's Address Radio on Joy 106.3 FM, Columbus's inspiration station. Hey everybody, it's your girl Jamila. Welcome to Queen's Address Radio on Joy 106.3 FM. It's your girl, and I have a very special guest today, educator Tiasia Jones Patterson. Welcome.
Hello.
Hello. How are you doing today?
I am good. I am good.
Good. Well, we're going to get right on into this conversation because a lot of stuff is happening. And before we really begin, I wanted to read something to you very quickly about the Trump administration. Okay. We're all hearing about the budget that I guess he's proposing to consolidate 18 separate programs into a K through 12 simplified funding program that would be administered through a block grant, providing states extreme flexibility in how funds are distributed and spent, and potentially allowing the money to stray from these programs, these goals and intended recipients. And so the targeted programs currently provide funding for after-school and summer programs, arts and technology classes, emergency preparedness, mental health services, and programs to improve teacher effectiveness, among others. In total, these 18 programs represented $6.5 billion in federal funding in FY24. Okay, and so the proposal for FY26 would cut funding by $4.5 billion, which is a 70% reduction for education. And so I want to get into this conversation because a lot of parents hear about policy changes and they don't always understand how they affect the classroom. All right. And so what I wanted to ask you, what changes have had the biggest impact on teachers and students on a day-to-day basis?
Oh, that's a good question. There's so many pieces to just that one question. Mm-hmm. Many of the policies, the policy making headlines don't immediately impact schools.
Okay.
In the classroom, shall I say, mm-hmm. but several issues do have a noticeable day-to-day impact on teachers and students. Mm-hmm. So just a couple of them. First is funding and staffing.
Right.
And so changes in education funding affects your class sizes.
Okay.
Reading and math intervention programs, school counselors, social workers and support staff, professional development for the teachers, opportunities for them to get developed. Mm-hmm. When schools have fewer resources, teachers often take on additional responsibilities and have less time for individual instruction.
Oh, wow.
And so then you have to move into when schools have fewer resources, teachers often take on additional responsibilities.
Right.
So we're not just teaching math, science, social studies, reading. We're now becoming counselors, nurses, caseworkers, because we are the first line. We are who sees your kids first in the morning.
Yeah.
And so you have to think about all those things. But then the biggest thing is teacher shortages.
Yeah.
Because in that cut, they're cutting teachers.
Right.
So then what about the kids?
What about what's going to happen to the students?
So then many districts, I know our own, are looking we're looking at 100 mil.
Oh, wow.
And so now we're trying to figure out the resources that we used to have, we're not going to have.
Right.
And how is this going to affect our children? Mm-hmm. And how are we going to step in to fill those gaps?
Yeah. No, let's get into it. Look, we got to figure something out as a community, because I know that you've watched news just like I watch news, and we've seen these ongoing debates around curriculum, book bans, and what can or cannot be taught as well. And so how are these conversations shaping the learning environment for young people? Because I know you're in the trenches, sis. You've been an educator for a while now. And so how are they figuring things out, and how are they coming along in the learning environment? What have you seen?
We have these conversations all the time, and I am at year 31.
Oh, wow.
With
Congratulations.
The districts. Thank you. And you think it would get easier as the years go on, but it's not. It's getting more difficult.
Right.
And so when you talk about ongoing debates, you're talking about exposure to different perspectives. You got to look at the restrictions on parents wanting more age-appropriate curriculums. They want the material to be up to date. And you also have to think about, how can I say it, developmentally suitable materials for children.
Exactly.
And then when you talk about classrooms discussions, if we want to move forward, we have to, in some of the districts, teachers report being more cautious about discussing certain topics that you would discuss at home with your parent is now getting pushed into the school.
Okay.
Where we have to have those discussions for parents, and teachers don't feel comfortable doing that.
Yeah.
That's taking on a parent role.
Right, because you don't want to overstep your bounds
Right.
and then have a parent-teacher conference. They're like, I'm not ready for my kids to know about this lifestyle or learn about this religion. Or, I want to be the one to tell them that when they turn 15. They shouldn't be 10.
And it's like in schools now.
Yeah.
Like with health, we have requirements for health education now through the state, where we have to teach specific things that teachers aren't comfortable teaching.
Yeah.
That normally you would have gotten at home, that now you're having to teach in class.
Wow.
And so you're talking about materials being selected. That's a big discussion with districts. And we talk about additional time being spent to ensure lessons are followed by the state guidelines, the district guidelines. So teachers have things that they have to do, but then more things are getting piled onto that. We talk about student sense of belonging. The books that students read and the stories they encounter can influence whether they see themselves
Absolutely.
or not. And we want to get where everybody's represented.
Representation matters.
It matters.
It matters.
It matters where you come from, and be able to read your history in books. They want to stop all history from being taught.
Yeah, we see what's happening in Florida.
And those book bans, it's about media control.
Yes.
It's about really community engagement.
Yeah. Yeah.
How are parents becoming more involved in conversations?
Right.
And that's what we got to think about curriculum, about library materials, leading greater public participation in schools and meetings.
Yes.
You go to some of these meetings and you don't see any parents.
Yeah.
Or few parents, but more administrators or community activists.
Yeah.
In those meetings, and not so much as parents. And we really need to get our parents in those seats so that they can hear what is being discussed about the learning of their children.
Right, because it's important to care. I was having a conversation with a young lady, she and her husband had divorced, and I guess she was just kind of like, he was asking for full custody or something like that. And she was just like, no, you don't even know your son's teachers' names. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, that don't even matter. And she's like, yes, it does. Yes. Because I know Mr. Williamson. Mm-hmm. Like, I know, Mrs. Merrill. Like, I know his art teacher. I know when his assignments are due. But it's like a lot of times we do see parents say, well, I can't make it to the parent-teacher conference because I have to work or I have 2 jobs or I can't be involved. I can't volunteer for whatever's going on at Ice Cream Social or what have you. But I think I think one thing that you could probably agree with me on is it burns me up to see him show up for a Swatch watch or like Jordans when the Jordans are released.
Yes.
And I'm like, I wish our community wasn't like this.
Yes.
Because it's the same thing for voting, because not voting is why we're in this boat with Trump and the budget cuts for schools in the first place. And not just with the Trump thing, but local elections as well.
Yes.
And Ken, I want to go off the grid real quick and talk a little bit about voting for the levy, voting yes or no for music programs, also for sports programs. How do you see it in your own words? Can you talk a little bit about why it's important to vote?
Oh, yes. Voting is such a heavy conversation within my family.
Yes.
And the importance of voting and having the right. That is your civic duty.
Yes, ma'am.
Your civic duty.
Absolutely.
To vote. You should be voting, as I tell my nieces and nephews and my family and my cousins, and they tell their friends, if we don't vote, you don't have nothing to talk about later.
Absolutely. And don't wait until after the fact. And you start complaining about things, but you didn't contribute.
You didn't contribute.
They're trying to take away our right to vote down south.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
And they're keep pushing it. And we are explaining to students, this is your right.
Yes, ma'am.
You are the only one that can make any changes. It's you. And you can't go 18 years and have learned nothing in those 18 years. And when it's time for you to step up and be an adult, it's time for you to vote.
That's right.
What's right for you, what's right for your family, what's right for your future. And you're talking about, you may not have kids right now, but you're going to have kids.
Yeah.
And what's going to impact them?
Exactly.
Are they even going to have a public school to go to?
Are they going to even have, listen.
Wish they want to take that away too.
Yeah. And I think one of the main things that we talk about in our community a lot is, okay, Trump is doing this, Trump is doing that. I wish he would. I'm like, well, y'all should have voted. Everybody was so convinced that Kamala was going to get it. They're like, oh no, who's going to vote for Trump? The people who believe in him is who.
Yes.
And that's why he's in office. And we see these budget cuts in education. Yeah. We see what's happening to students that have an IEP or special needs, mental health students. They're losing resources because some of us just knew that Kamala was going to get it and she would just somehow fix everything, and that Trump, he's not going to get in. And it's because a lot of us held our vote.
Is about to be wiped out.
Yeah. Yep.
The babies that have the IEPs, that have learning difficulties within the classroom, you're trying to group them all into one
what's
bucket.
What's going to happen to them? Are they just going to put them all in the classroom?
That's what they're trying to do.
Oh, no.
That's what they're trying to do. And it's already becoming a rippled effect. When you pull one resource, there's something under that title. Food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Space.
Yes.
Resources. Support staff. We don't have, if you continue to drain the funding, you're draining resources that will help our children.
Right. Learn and grow. Absolutely. And so I'm so glad you straightened that out for us, because it's a perfect segue into my next question about teacher burnout. And so if we're going to put all these children into classes, we talk about this topic nationally. What are educators carrying right now that the public may not fully see or understand? We talked a little bit off air about becoming almost like second mothers and caseworkers to these children. What has been your experience with children that just don't have enough, that need so much?
Teacher burnout is often described as exhaustion.
Yeah.
But many teachers would say it's actually the weight of carrying so much beyond teaching.
Right. Because
when we get to leave the building, our job does not stop there. Our job stops at 11 o'clock at night. So you got to think what the public may not fully see is academic recovery. Teachers are working to close learning gaps while meeting high expectations from student performance, because I know as an educator, that is weighed heavily. Assessments, they look at the teacher as if you took the test. Yeah. If the kid doesn't pass, you've given all these resources and ways of solving problems, but you're not the one taking the test. But then teachers feel like you're punished if that child does not meet the growth that the district thinks is growth. Because we feel like a little bit of growth goes a long way. Yeah. Because we have to factor in what's going on at home. How is that child in front of you mentally and emotionally, and what I need to teach. Yeah. So you have all those things wrapped up into one thing. And then we look at the mental health supports. Many students come to school carrying anxiety, grief, trauma, or instability, and teachers are often the first adults to notice and respond. Exactly. And then we look at behavior challenges. We know after the pandemic, behavior really went through the roof. Yeah, because they were 2 years behind. They had to be socialized. Yeah. So you thinking being socially at home, inept kids. That's what it is. That's exactly what it is. And then you got to look at administrative demands, data tracking, documentation. And this is all supposed to be done during the school day while you're in charge of taking care of students. Wow. So it's not like we get separate, y'all got an hour to go sit and do data. No, you're trying to do the data, the documentation while you're teaching as well. So that all that weight begins to fall on the teacher. Do I have enough resources to even move my children? And teachers then go out knowing that they're living paycheck to paycheck, but they're buying manipulatives and supplies for their classrooms to give them those extra resources. Yeah. So it's just forever the servant. Yes, you're forever a servant. Listen, I have a bunch of educators in my family, and they just don't get paid enough. Y'all do not get paid enough. And you're not even going into it for the education, for the money, the money. You're going into it for the education, but not the money, because we pour in to these babies more than money can even replace.
You're listening to Queen's Address Radio on Joy 106.3 FM. We'll be right back.
I'm Keisha Smith-Jones, President of the Executives Wealth Advisor, here to bring you the Queen's Money Minute Insight. Many working professionals have mastered budgeting, built retirement accounts, and developed strong financial habits, but the next level of wealth building requires a different conversation. Are you preparing for investment opportunities beyond traditional savings? Do you understand the qualifications and responsibilities that come with becoming an accredited investor? Are you building wealth that creates freedom, flexibility, and legacy? Financial growth is not only about increasing income, it's about increasing access, knowledge, and strategic positioning. The sooner you begin planning intentionally, the greater your opportunities become. Not sure where you are in your planning process or want to have another set of eyes on your plan? Text the word CROWN to 614-482-2236 to claim your free financial toolkit. Again, text CROWN to 614-482-2236 to claim your free financial toolkit and start taking the throne of your wealth today.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Jamila, and we are back with Tiana Jones Patterson, who is a brilliant educator. And so I'm going to get right back into this next question because I wanted to talk a little bit about funding. You were making some really great points about funding. And so we know that funding has always been a concern in public education, okay? And so are schools receiving the resources they need? And if not, where are students feeling the impact the most? You talked a little bit about what's about to happen to our IEP students, our special needs students. How can they prepare for what's about to happen with these budget cuts?
Many schools are not fully receiving the resources that they need.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And even when funding exists on paper, it often doesn't translate into enough staff, time, direct student support where it matters the most.
Right.
And then, so you got to also think about how the funding is uneven and often restricted, because with the funding, I know with public school funding, it's mixed between local property tax, state allocations, and federal support that is given through the Department of Ed.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
That's crazy.
And even when total funding increases, students often face two problems. Unequal distribution.
Okay.
That where if you're a rich district, you get this. If you're a poor district, you get this. So it's not it's a high-low district thing that they look at. Are you a high district? You in the 1s and 2s above the 5, or are you falling below the 5?
Right.
And then there's restricted funds that must be used for specific programs that you can't touch.
Okay.
So there's funds that you can move around and do what you want. But then there's funds that are specific.
Right.
For behavior supports, staff, for staffing. So it goes both ways. But it still actually impacts that day to day.
Okay.
But where the students feel it most is larger class sizes. Because we ended up years ago putting a cap on elementary. Because I teach elementary, we had to get where we used to have up to 32 kids.
Oh, okay.
And then what if you get one over and you're the only teacher?
Yeah. Yeah.
What if you get two over and you're the only teacher?
Yeah.
That they have to push into your classroom. So you are now over your cap.
Oh, wow.
So then we fought through the union and everything. The union fought to get, can we have a cap of at least 27?
Yeah. Yeah.
In a classroom.
Right.
So you're thinking 1 to 27.
Yeah.
One teacher to 27 kids, 27 with
that's not fair.
Different attitudes and
mood swings.
Yes, within just that by itself.
Whew. Lord have mercy. Bless
and so
your heart.
you're just thinking like, I got my own personality, but now I have
to manage all these humans. Oh, Lord
with
have
their
mercy.
own mood swings and everything. And then you think about less one-to-one supports.
Yeah.
And so we were talking about the intervention services, the reading, the sped ed, the tutoring. With the budget cuts, there's going to be fewer intervention specialists that have gone to school,
had the training,
and that have these children.
Yeah.
So we're now within our own district are trying to find teachers to fill those spots.
Right.
And then limited time on small group instruction, longer wait times for evaluations or services, and then reduction in tutoring programs.
Yeah.
So now we have less tutoring programs because there's no money to pay these tutors.
Yeah.
So, you know,
it's so much. It is so
it's
much.
Heartbreaking in a sense.
It is.
Because you want to keep giving, but where are we going to get the money from?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And So parents could actually have more influence.
Yeah.
Than they think. Is that it has to be consistent, informed, and collaborative.
Yeah.
Rather than reactive or isolation. Mm-hmm. We have to know what the parents are thinking.
It takes a village.
It takes all of us.
Yes, it does.
We can't just do our part. Everybody has to do their part.
That's right.
What resources can we give these students that can help them during the summer?
Right.
What,
they need something
what
to
jobs?
Do. Yeah.
Back in the day, we used to have job programs that you worked the whole summer.
Yeah, we went to
you had money.
Yeah.
You had money. You had things to do. We had programs that Ohio State used to provide where you went, and whatever activity you wanted to focus on that your parents signed you up for, you were doing that. Most of the day, caught that bus back home. It was 5 o'clock. You didn't have no time to get in trouble because you were too tired
from working all day.
And we just have to, as a community,
we have to get back to that.
Get back to that and find ways to better help our children be social.
Yeah, and
without being violent.
Mentors too. We need mentors too as well. You know?
We need a lot of mentors, and I think that's the biggest issue. I don't care if you're a doctor, a plumber, anything.
Pour into these kids.
Pour into them, because some of them just need resources and ways to use their hands that will help them be productive in society.
Yes, ma'am. Well, Tiana Jones Patterson, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us today. I hope to have you back once we get in the thick of it, because we got to talk proficiency testing and everything once school starts back.
Yes, and there's so much to talk about.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I thank you for being on the Queen's Address Radio today.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we'll catch you next time. Peace, King. Peace, Queen.
It's time for the crowning moment. Education is for improving the lives of others and for leaving your community and world better than you found it. Don't put a limit on anything. The more you dream, the farther you get.
Knowledge is power.
The crowning moment is brought to you by Fortune Over Fame Clothing. Chase the fortune, never the fame. FortuneOverFame.com.
Is your insurance coverage really meeting your needs? Whether you're trying to protect yourself, a family member, or your small business, it's important to understand your options. Shavanika Kelly helps residents and business owners in Wisconsin and Ohio make informed insurance coverage decisions. She'll help you decide whether your coverage you purchase is delivering the best value for your premium dollar. Shavanika believes the best way to do that is to educate her clients about what insurance does and does not cover. She'll meet with you one-on-one to address your personal or business coverage needs and help make sure your financial future is protected. Whether you need help with home, auto, or life insurance, you'll get expert, personalized guidance. Call Shavanika for more information about Kelly & Associates, Inc. and American Family Insurance at 414-282-3105.
You've been listening to Queen's Address Radio, queensaddress.com.
Queens in the house!
All securities through Money Concepts Capital Corp. Member FINRA SIPC, Executives Wealth Advisor LLC, is an independent firm not affiliated with Money Concepts Capital Corp.
Queens in the house!